The deal sounded fantastic. The customer spider was given an offer so good it was almost impossible to refuse. But once everything was paid for, the Yell spider moved in with a contract they couldn't escape from.
Hi guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about the Yell contract. I'd never recommend signing up for it because it's an absolute nightmare, because it's very, very hard to get out of. Now, the main reason I'm making this video is because I went through this contract for about 5 hours yesterday, and I was talking about a couple of the different stages. It's probably something that you could read in about 7 hours. And it's a very, very complicated. It uses over-the-top and very flowery language at some points, and it's very hard to understand. So that is an incredible problem from the start. But basically, you are signing up to this contract as a business. You waive your rights as a consumer. If you're doing consumer-to-business contracts, you can get out of them within 14 days. You can't do that with the L contract because you literally agree in the contract that you're doing this as a business, which is a huge, huge issue. Now, the contract in question at the moment is the 28th of April 2022 was the last time it was updated. There are a couple of get-out clauses in it, but they're entirely up to Yell. So basically, Yell can choose whether or not you get out of the contract based upon the rules. Now, the only thing that I actually found in the contract is that you can get out of the contract under the rule of force majeure. Now, basically, force majeure is not really regarded in British law, and in terms of contract law, the force majeure events are basically defined in the terms of the contract, so they're the only reasons that you could get out of a contract. So, and that would allow you to nullify it, but that's the only thing that I could find in the entire damn contract. Now, when it comes to Yell's services, Yell basically say that they make no promises to high quality of performance. Let's take into account Facebook marketing. So, for example, back in the day, it was easy to run an advert on Facebook, get really high reach for a low amount of money, so they could perform really well. So, they basically say that past performance doesn't equal this is what you're going to get. And that can be a really, really big problem when it comes to running any form of advertising campaign with Yell. So let's talk about what you're actually getting for Yell with this contract in terms of your actual services. Now, what do I know about the services Yell can provide? Well, I'm a digital marketer for a start. I'm making videos for this channel which will basically teach you how to do everything that Yell would says that they can do for you, but you won't have to be paying them, so they're not taking a cut. And also, I'll teach you how to do everything a little bit better than they are, so that you're able to run your business in a more efficient way. Now, when it comes down to it, I have a basic question for you. Let's say you're a chain smoker, all right, and you want 4 packets of cigarettes. So would you go to your toddler, your 4-year-old kid, and basically say, hey kid, I'm going to give you 50 quid. You can go 2 miles down the street with this 50 quid, carry it in your hand all the way down the street, go to the shops and get me 4 packets of cigarettes. And would you expect those cigarettes to come back to you? No, they're not going to come back to you. The kid is going to get mugged. All sorts of things could happen. You know, they might just spend it all on candy. The shopkeeper certainly won't allow the kid to buy the cigarettes, right? Now, when I look at Yell's products and services and what they actually provide for customers, I can very, very plainly see that they're not giving quality to people. And this is a huge problem to me because as a marketer, I like to make sure that businesses are getting good quality. It's why people keep coming back to me. It's why people pay me money. So the fact of the matter is, when I see someone who provides really poor performance, I can say, well, you shouldn't go with them. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about Yell's websites. Now, Yell says that they make their smart websites on Wix. Wix is not a good platform for SEO. It's not a good platform to have your business website on. And Yell will charge anything from £399 to £3,500, which they tried to pitch me over the phone. For an ultimate website, I've checked out some of these ultimate websites, and to be honest, the performance for these websites is absolutely piss poor. And I can say that, hand on heart, totally honest with you. So you get poor quality website for the service. In terms of advertising, well, I've talked with about 3 business people this week, 5 over the past 2 weeks, I can definitely say that, who've had Yell adverts run for them and have not seen anything from these adverts. And these are with smart advertising. Now, in most cases with small businesses, I just recommend doing, if you're doing like a localized business, I just recommend picking your radius on Facebook and basically doing an ad campaign with them, because it's a lot simpler. Don't set anything other than setting your advert to a certain radius, and bam, done. It's that simple. People who will like the business, they will like your page, and you can use that to boost your power later on. I will explain all of this in other videos. So that's Yell advertising out the way. Should you have be a promoted page on Yell? I mean, it only costs like £10 a month. That sounds pretty good, right? Well, the fact of the matter is, how many people are actually going on Yell? I mean, they've got like 6,600 people who follow their Twitter account online. That's not very much considering how big Yell's supposed to be. So that immediately should flag warning signs. In terms of Facebook, if you actually go to Yell's pages, you'll find them full of complaints from businesses, people saying they're not having services. They have hidden lots of comments. It's not good to get involved in a contract where you're having to pay somebody for 12 months as a minimum period. And you shouldn't expect any performance from what you're paying them. I mean, would you go to me and say, "Hey, Alex, are you going to? I'd like you to run, I'd like you to run these ads for me for 12 months, and I don't expect anything from them." No, you want a valid return on investment from ads. If you're not getting at least something in terms of like likes on a Facebook page, because at least those can be useful. If someone likes your stuff, they might like your posts. If they like your post, they might click on your website when you put a blog there. They might be interested in your products and services. So at least you'll be getting something. But Yell, they basically waive all of this. They basically say, you can pay us the money and we don't really have to do much for you. I mean, yeah, they'll build you a website, which is template built, awful. I even found one which they built in Duda by accident, and it's a one-page website. They're not even GDPR compliant, and the site was cobbled together during the time when GDPR was a massively big deal because it was just coming in. So the fact of the matter is, you're dealing with a company that is not providing sufficient quality for customers. And when you consider the fact that even if you manage to get out of your website contract, you at least in the past, I've had a friend who was with Yell and they had a website designed by Yell. They had to pay extra money for the website to be released so that they could actually have it and have the rights to that, because Yell own all of this stuff, and they basically will own your domain name. They own all of these different things, and any person that you're working with who will provide a good quality of service will basically sign this stuff over. If you're going to move from one web designer to another, they should sign it all over to you. It's that simple. So the question is of whether or not you should trust Yell and whether or not you should sign up to the contract. My recommendation is the best thing to do is read it. You read that contract, you find out exactly what you're signing up for, and don't do it. Because otherwise, you're going to be like that spider in the beginning. It's not a good situation.